Welcome to season 2, episode 20 of the Driving Forward podcast. It's May 2nd, 2024. My name is Nate Johnson, and I'm the founder and CEO of GLCS. You know, last week was the Broker Carrier Summit, and I had an amazing crew of guys that I was able to golf with. I golfed with Mike Turner, Kevin Hill, and Jeff Dickinson. And as we were golfing, we reflected on how crazy this industry is and how cool it is that reflecting back on our careers, and a lot of us, pretty much every one of us has been in this industry 25, 30 years or more. Jeff's been in this industry 400 years. But all of us have been in this industry a long time. And you look back, and who would have thought that today we would have been having these discussions that we were having, that we would be talking with the people that we're talking with. And I am just so blessed to be able to have those discussions and be able to speak with the people that I get to speak with. And our original plan today was to talk about front office technology, specifically following up on our discussion from a few weeks ago, where we talked about asset-based technology. We were going to talk today about non-asset-based technology, but we had a couple problems and some flights didn't work out and a couple people got sick. So our panel of industry experts here at GLCS is significantly dwindled, and we thought it's better to take next week's discussion and move it to this week. So actually next week's podcast was a compilation, or is a compilation of interviews, very interesting interviews that we captured during our road trip to MATS and to TCA. So there's several interviews that are coming up, four of them that we captured during MATS and TCA. And I'm going to apologize for the background noise at MATS. Every time we do these events, we get a little better. And, if you notice the way things kind of went at our first conference, the mics weren't so great. We worked those out. At MATS, we had one mic that wasn't super great. We've corrected that. Now we're working on the background noise a little better. We're learning as we go. TCA was better. Broker Carrier Summit was better. The next conference we're going to, we're working out the next conference. There may be another one here in May. And then there's a couple over the summer here. So that being said, these compilations, some of these interviews are great. Actually, all of these interviews are great. Some of them are really close to our heart. And we had a number of different interviews. These are ones that jumped out to us. So without further ado, the first interview is of our friend Alex Mai, Mutha Trucker, or Mutha Trucker News officially, but he and Jay Kennon are partners in Big Rig Tees. And if you're familiar with Big Rig Tees, if you're not familiar with Big Rig Tees, they make really awesome shirts. And they had this very cool booth. It was 400 feet long at MATS. And, they were selling a ton of shirts. They were super gracious and allowed us to set up our podcast there. And we did a lot of interviews and a lot of discussions there. And we're just able to hang out with them for several days. And we're able to do this interview while we were there. So I was super excited to be able to spend time with them at MATS this year. And I was also very excited to be able to find a break in all the excitement that we had to sit down and chat with them for a few minutes to learn about their story. And here is that story. So we are at MATS 2024 in Louisville, Kentucky. This is the Driving Forward podcast, and I'm here with my friend Alex Mai, the Mutha Trucker, and his company, Big Rig Tees, Jay Kennon and Hayden Kennon. So, sorry, I should have known all those names by now, but they've been kind enough to let us hang out with them for the last few days, and we wanted to spend some time chatting about their story and just get to know them a little bit better here. So, Jay, the Big Rig Tees. So, give us your story, kind of where you came from. Obviously, Big Rig Tees has a 80 by 10 booth here, and you guys have had just a massive amount of people the last couple of days coming through.
I'm not going to correct you. It's 200 by 200,
200
sir.
by 200.
It's the biggest booth at MATS. We paid $400,000.
Wow.
We're big money over here.
So, yeah.
I'm teasing. I'm joking.
I mismeasured.
Yeah.
So, I mismeasured. So, but Jay, yeah, give us some background.
Well, I don't really have a big background other than we do cool trucking shirts.
You better stop with that. You better go from the beginning, sir.
From the beginning. So way back when in 1999, which seems like forever ago, my wife said,
I was young in 1999. Not that young, but I was young. Oh.
So my wife came to me and said, hey, we need to start a business that we can work together. So I was a full-time fireman for 25 years. And so firemen always need a side hustle. And so we thought, man, let's get into t-shirts. I'm like, you really think we could do that? And I said, okay, let's go. So I drive to town and I put $10,000 worth of equipment in the back of my little Ford Ranger, drive it all the way back to my house and throw it out in my garage. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I didn't know anything about screen printing, anything about graphics. I didn't even know I had to have a computer to do this. So it took me about 3 months, and I printed my first t-shirt with all this equipment that I bought that I didn't know what it was, and started printing. And I made a pact with myself that so during that time, it was pre-YouTube. It was pre-YouTube, pre-internet, basically.
Yeah, 99.
Yeah. So nobody helped. Nobody would explain to me, hey, this is how you do it. This is what you do. This is what this machine's supposed to look like. So basically, I just sat in my garage and scratched my head until I figured out how to put everything together and burn screens. And I started printing. I made a pact with myself that I will never let anybody come to me not knowing what to do. If I can help them, I'm going to help them. So I've always been kind of a screen printer's advocate. Now, just like in our town in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there's probably 65 shops. I know 50 of them.
Wow.
And they all call me, daily just for advice. But we got started. So in 2003, I moved into my first location. Or no, actually, I moved in 2001. And we started contract printing, and a guy came along, and I'm going to give him kudos because he doesn't do this anymore, thank God, because I sued his butt off until he couldn't do it. And he came to me with the Big Rig Tees idea. And I was so intrigued because he was an amazing artist and came with me that idea. And then I started printing youth shirts for him. But I didn't have a big enough piece of equipment to print the full designs that we print now. And so I printed for him for a couple of years, got to be friends with him. And then in 2007, I bought a big machine, and he was the first person I called and said, hey, I got a big machine now. And he came to me with, open arms, and I found out why, because he owed about 40 truck drivers. He owed them T-shirts. He had screwed a bunch of people around. And I said, now wait, I didn't know any of this, and this is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear up all this bad blood. So it cost me about $70,000 in merchandise and printing, and I got everybody that he had screwed around basically stabilized, and most of them are still our customers today.
Oh, that's awesome. So,
And so we started Big Rig Tees. Actually, we launched it in 2007. And it has just grown exponentially since then. We started out for about 10 years. 17, 18, 20, I think, man, almost 12 years. We rocked along, and we had 64 locations, including, chrome shops and truck stops.
Yeah.
And then I met Alex at where did we meet? What truck shows at Wildwood, Florida?
Wildwood.
Wildwood. He was walking around.
Wow.
He was walking around like a goofball, filming stuff. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Man, I'm making social media." I said, "What's social media?" I didn't even know what the hell it was, because I've always kept my nose to the grindstone and worked. I didn't have time for any social media to speak of. And he kind of started showing me, some of the stuff he done, and I think he had 3 or 4 followers when I first met him. His mom was one of them, and his uncle was the other.
That's right.
But no, I mean, he had like 100,000 followers, maybe. Alex, 90-something thousand.
Yeah.
He was very small in his YouTube channel, and
Because that's small.
Of course.
yeah, that was small.
Small pro.
Little did I know you can. Now I figure out, oh shit, he's making money. I ain't even making money doing this. And Alex and I we hit it off. We went to like 3 to 4 truck shows in a row where we just meshed. And the one thing that I love about Alex is he's always honest with everybody he works with. So I said, well, I got to give this guy a chance, because I obviously needed a social media influencer, which I didn't really know what that was, but I knew my advertising game really sucked, and I had to figure it out. So I asked Alex, I said, "Hey, buddy, what do you think?" Well, first of all, he actually asked me, he goes, "What do you think about making some Mutha Trucker t-shirts?" And I'm like, "Ain't nobody going to buy that shit, Alex." Nobody's going to buy it. He says, "Man, I really think I got a big brand here. We're gonna make millions." And I'm like, "Alex, there ain't nobody gonna buy Mutha Trucker shirts." So we rocked along for, I don't know, about a year, just planning and deciding how to do our business. And I invited Alex into my company, and he bought in and just said, "Let's do this." And ever since then, it has been the wildest ride that I could ever imagine. I mean, now we went from basically not having, we've always been a big shop, but we haven't always printed just Big Rig Tees. And so 2.5 years ago, we stopped printing for everybody else. All we print is Big Rig Tees. We printed an average last year of 850 shirts a day.
Wow.
But when we print them, we just don't have no place to store them. So we got to sell that many a day so we have more room.
Sure.
And we'll probably go over 1,500 shirts this year a day, in and out. So it's doing really good. I mean, the company's strong. We don't have any that I know of. I don't have one person in the trucking industry that's even remotely pissed off at us. We have a great reputation.
That's hard to do.
It's
Very, very hard to do. That's hard to do.
And and I really don't know anybody that's pissed off at Alex. I think most people are more jealous of him. But if they know his work ethic, you can't be jealous of his work ethic. It's your own fault. And so we're rocking along. This is my 14th MATS.
Yeah.
So I've been in the same place for the last 12 years. I was in the North Hall for a couple of years, and it's just been a long run. Very happy. I'm trying to retire.
Trying is an operative word.
Yes.
I'm going to continue to try to retire for many years. You probably have a couple of years on me, but I'm gonna continue to try to retire, because if I don't try to retire, I'll never retire.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So I'm retired. I retired from the fire department 10 years ago. It's just been full blast since. I haven't had a day off.
Wow, that's wild. That was Hayden, right?
So yeah, it's Hayden.
Yes.
This is my son.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
my youngest son. And actually he came into the business. I said, "Man, I really would love to get you involved in our business." He goes, what the hell do I do, Dad? And I said, "I don't know. You can pack boxes with t-shirts." And he goes, Okay. You know, he was a gas guy. He was a ONG, Oklahoma Natural Gas certified gas technician, and he ran his calls. He worked by himself. He had his own truck, and he gave up that career to come help us. Because I told him, I said, look, you know, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And I need some brain power, and I need some help. And so I brought Hayden in, and for a while he packed T-shirts, and he wasn't any good at that. No. So what was your next job, Hayden? I can't even remember.
There was a couple of them.
Would we do that after you tried to pack T-shirts?
Well, after I tried to pack T-shirts, I tried to. I joined the sales team, and I worked a little bit of customer service representing for a little bit.
You sucked at that.
I don't think I sucked. It's just that if you don't check your emails, it's not very easy to build relationships with customers.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. Look, but we joke around with this young man, right? But we found something that was true. It's not really a core value, but because our core value is taking care of truck drivers. If it's not good with truck drivers, it's not good with us.
Absolutely.
But one internal thing that we always do is we like to put aces in their places. And so we try to find jobs that just make sense for people. And so he's always been extremely creative. And so I kind of took him under my wing to show him a little bit about that. And now he's a monster. He gets thousands of views on every Big Rig Tees, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I mean, people are watching. He's understanding that. And, and we talk a lot about marketing in the business world of trucking. And so honestly, you want to give anyone some of these tips? Because on the business side, they actually might want to hear it, because this guy is a viral machine.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to, marketing, it's such a grand scheme. It's really hard to, dive down into exactly what that means, or exactly what even social media means. And, one thing that I, being with Alex and doing the social media for Big Rig Tees have learned over the years is that the most important thing, absolutely on top, is putting yourself in front of an audience. So when I started, once Alex told me, hey man, I want you to take over the social medias, and I want you to, I just want you to be creative with it. I want you to do your own thing. And, I remember the day after he said that, I was like, wait, so I have to put the camera on my face? Is that what you're trying to say? And, we just talked more and more about it. And he said, I want Big Rig Tees to have its own face, because Alex did all of our social media before I moved to this role. And so I really just, I just took pride in it. And I had to swallow my pride to do it, because even listening to your own voice, looking at your own face on camera, it's not comfortable. Even if you think your content is great and you are doing a great job, there's still going to be a level of discomfort that you have to get past. And the only way to get past it is do it. The only way to get people to watch what you do is to post it. And the only way to get the stuff actually on the platform is to make it. So, when I started, it was, Big Rig Tees, we had somewhat of a social media presence just from, paying for Facebook ads and posting pictures of trucks and doing all these things, trying to reach truck drivers in whatever way we could. So I took a different approach. What I've known, and, being born, and I was born in 1998. So I basically grew up. As I grew up, there were cell phones and there was social media, and it wasn't as big or as controlling as it is on the population today as when I was there. It was really just something you did with your friends and something like that. But I knew social media to be something that was entertaining. And I think people nowadays see enough advertisements and, 50% off this and buy one, get one this, and hey, come check us out of this. I really think they're sick of it. So what I chose to do was I took a different route, and I chose to entertain. I chose entertainment over advertisement. And I did that from day one. I think it was months until I even posted that we had T-shirts. I mean, I really just took it. I was like, I'm going to learn about truck drivers. I'm going to jump on this TikTok live, and I'm going to talk to these people. I'm going to give them free shirts. And I basically had to fake it till I make it, because I didn't know crap about truck driving. I can tell you that. And now I've been doing it for a year and a half. And I would say I'm somewhat well-versed, and so much more to learn. And truck drivers respect me, even though I'm not a driver. I never claimed to be a driver. But yeah, I just chose entertainment, and that's carried me along the way. So I've taken us from, less than 30 something, around 20 something thousand followers all across our things. And I've been doing it for a year and a half, and we're over 100,000 now. And I reach millions of people a month, and I really enjoy it. And I love the community. And, I've really just grown a true appreciation for what the trucking industry is, and I'm all about it. Go truck drivers.
That's a great story. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I can relate to some of that myself. So I've always been out in front of people, but I didn't really jump way out there until the not so recent past or the recent past. So, but I can relate to that and always entertaining. Yeah, always entertaining. No one ever is mad because you put something funny out there.
Right.
So I agree with that completely. So actually, I had a great piece of advice when I was at a conference called Manifest a couple months ago. A month and a half ago.
Month and a half, sir.
Yeah, a month and a half ago. A great piece of advice from somebody that follows me, and she said, "Nate, I know you, and you're a really funny guy, and you're not being funny enough on social media." And I said, "Wow, that kind of hit me." And I realized I need to loosen up a little bit on that. So to your point, starting out that way was a very good tactic.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, I'll send it off. So, pretty much it's just creating and bringing value to people. And if you're organic and you're real and in your business, your structure, whatever you're trying to do, your product, your service, that is just one part of it. The other part is it's the people and keeping your word, and just sometimes you're not the person that people want, but if you're the one that keeps on showing up, after a while, people respect that. And so what Jay and I were talking about with a nice small company earlier today is your goal is that when they look at your logo or they look at your brand, they 100% can feel and understand what that means. And until that day comes, you got to just keep on pushing and keep on marketing yourself and keep on putting yourself out there. And after a while, you will be Nike, you will be Tesla, you will be Ford, you will be Walmart, you will be Google, you will be whatever you want to be. But you just have to keep on telling that story. And after a while, people will get it. So, Big Rig Tees is just different now. We are not a t-shirt company. We are a t-shirt that represents the hardworking truck drivers in America. And we help and bring a solution to helping other big companies in the trucking industry have not a shirt, but a design that matches the brand that they want to convey. And so we work with the biggest companies out there. If you're in trucking, you care about truck drivers, you work with Big Rig Tees.
Big Rig Tees.
Absolutely.
Representing trucking.
Hey, let's go.
All right. Thanks for watching. Our second interview was with a few guys that walked by and started talking with us. We liked the idea of their organization. I have to say, I don't know that much about the history of their organization, but we liked the concept, just sitting down, talking to them for a period of time. We spent 10, 15 minutes chatting and said, let's sit down and record this. So that's really where the idea, this and going forward, Big Rig Tees wants to help the industry, wants to create the best t-shirts for the industry. These guys want to help drivers just in general on their mental health, drivers getting on the road that need help. So we like the idea of their organization. So I sat down and I discussed with them for a moment who they are and what they do. So this is Grizz from Truck Drivers of America and Josh from Brothers of the Highway. All right, we're here from MATS 2024, and we were sitting here, and a couple of gentlemen came up. One from Brothers of the Highway, and another from Truck Drivers of America Charity. We were talking with them, and they just had such a great message and a great. Well, their organizations are just. They just sounded wonderful. And we wanted to bring them on just for a minute to have them put forth their message so we can broadcast it out there, make people more aware of what they do and how they do it. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the baton over here. So if you can give us your name, let's talk a little bit about, not only what your organization does, but how you got into it as well.
Okay. So my name is Grizz, or Jeff, and I'm actually one of the board members for Truck Driver America charity. And we decided, there was a group of 5 of us that were all together. We were just doing lives on TikTok, just kind of hanging out, having laughs. And we decided, let's do something to make an impact in the industry. Last year alone, we were working really closely with Truckers Final Mile, and approximately 20% of the drivers that they got home last year that passed away on the road were unfortunately posted. And we wanted to make an impact on that number. And so we decided, the group of 5 of us, to start something bigger than just us and make an impact on the entire industry. And because when you're driving down the road, you're in that box by yourself, and you start getting in your head worrying about bills and what's going on at home, and the traffic around you, and it gets to you. You really get in your head about it, and we want to change that. So that's why we decided to start the charity. We just got our 501c3 about a year and a month ago, and we've grown substantially since we got it. We have multiple avenues of social media. You can reach out to us. We've got our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook. We have our website, truckdriversofamerica.org. And we have our emails. We got truckdac@gmail.com or truckdriversofamerica@gmail.com. With our Discord group, which we created, we have just over 270 members in there from all across the country and Canada. And there's always somebody in that group that's on and able to talk to someone. So if you want to reach out, just go to our website. We have the links to our Discord. We have everything there. So that's really what we are. We want to make an impact in the industry.
I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So I got into the industry as a driver. I spent 5 years on the road, and then did some time in the office, and then spent some more time on the road. So, so if you're a driver, you are having a down day, you got that battle with the wife, you're 1,000 miles away or longer, you don't have the outlet, you can jump on Discord. That's usually the best way.
Yeah.
Jump on Discord. You can type it out. You can just have kind of like a channel that you have to pop on.
Well, there's multiple channels on there. Okay. And really what it is, we have like the general chat where you can say, you can at everyone and say, hey, is anybody available to talk? And we'll have multiple users pop on and be like, hey, you okay? What's going on? And we'll shut the chat down if you're just joking around. If there's multiple people on, somebody pops in and says, hey, I need to talk to somebody. We'll shut it down to where it's strictly, we're focused on what they need.
Yeah. Make it serious and pull it together.
Yes.
Oh, yes. That's awesome. That when I started driving, we didn't have cell phones. So you were on the road by yourself. If you want to make a phone call, you better have a quarter. And that's awesome.
Nice.
I love that the technology platforms are out there today where everybody can reach out to one another. And this community has come closer together. I'm a huge advocate for drivers and just everyone getting closer together. So the office personnel, the drivers, even brokers, the B-word. There's a huge group of brokers that are trying to get closer together with drivers. And just make it all better. And Discord is one of those pieces that we use for that.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's an awesome thing. I'd love to help that community grow in any way, shape, or form. And Alex is not aware that we want to make him aware of that piece. So we'll call him out here a little bit. So Brothers of the Highway, right? That's your organization. So tell us a little about yourself. Tell us how you got into it, and let's hear.
So my name is Josh. I'm a national vice president of the club. I will not give my handle. It's not radio approved. Sorry about that. But I was looking for somewhere to go just to have somebody to talk to, somebody like-minded like myself. And I happened to Google search and this came up. So I reached out, talked to some people there about 2 years ago. And I actually talked to one of the members that was an officer. and he told me a lot about it. A few weeks later, I prospected in and became a member. Slowly but surely worked my ranks up, and now I'm the national vice president of the club. We've been around just over 2.5 years. We're looking for individuals that want the old school way. You're broke down, we're going to help you. You're in the same situation with them in a fast space. We're going to work and talk to you. We're going to, we had a guy the other day just have a medical issue. We had people go to the hospital and sit there with him. I had a stroke 6 months ago. 2 guys went down to the actual or you can left. There you go. We had a guy in Colorado. He had a stroke. Literally, while we were in chat with him talking, he was having a stroke. We got him to a hospital. There was a guy on a 34-hour reset. He went and sat in the hospital for a day and a half. So he wasn't in the hospital alone by himself. So trying to bring that old school way of community and like-minded people together.
No, that's wonderful. So something that kind of came to mind. So the old school thought is actually something I was talking about earlier with another gentleman who was sitting here. And I think some of the industry has lost that, but there's a core group of guys, and I'm glad that you came over here and talked about some of that, because I think there's a core group of guys that still carry that old school value. Obviously, you guys have that, but it's sort of a safety thing these days, where it's hard to put yourself out there as a driver and be sort of your true self and go up and say, hey, driver, I'm here to help you. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So having that channel of being able to reach out to people, help out. I know there's been scenarios where we've helped out. I said, exactly. You guys getting stranded because the company is closed up. They can't get home, or whatever the case may be. So that's a great organization. How did you? Are you a driver? Are you guys both drivers?
Yes, I drive a RGM low bed.
You guys company on the ops?
I'm an owner op.
How long have you been driving?
So, well, again, that's something that's a little gray, but 20 years. I got my license in 2000. I've been driving RGM for the last 18 years, but I've got a lot more experience than 20 years.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Understood.
I'm actually got 15 years.
Sure. It's the old ways of the gray area that before DOT got extremely into everybody's business.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yep. All right. Well, anything to add to what you guys have? You did say how to reach you.
No, I was going to just, So if you want to find us, we're on Facebook, BOH Family. We have a family page with over 2,000 followers. Please reach out. Somebody will be more than happy to accept your invitation, and we hope to see you. We interact with it on a daily basis, where we put posts out for you to interact with. If you have questions or whatever, by all means, you can ask, and somebody will be more than happy to answer, a member or an officer. So you can also find us at www.brothersofthehighway.com. So between the two, the Facebook page and the website, we have, you can get involved and talk to anybody you want about anything. We're just looking for anybody that wants to be like-minded and have the old school ways. That's the biggest focus and control of it. Grizz happens to be a member of BOH as well as part of the charity. So we've collaborated together in the last few months, but he's on both sides of it. He does the charity and he's also a member of BOH. So it works out perfect.
Now, do you guys look for sponsors and financial wealth? And who are those ideal sponsors?
Everybody and anybody that wants to help the drivers. We focus mainly on the drivers. We're not against the companies, not against the corporations, but we're focusing more on the drivers and what the drivers have to deal with out here every day. So any corporations, anybody that has connections to the trucking industry is the perfect sponsor for what we're doing. Last year, we gave over $11,000 to various charities, just to name a few: breast cancer awareness, autism awareness, and Toys for Tots. We raised over $6,000 for Toys for Tots. And all the money was raised by the members in the club, not by outside. We came up with the $11,000 out of our own pockets. We didn't have any sponsorships. We would love to have sponsorships.
Yeah. Right. How about on your side? Are you kind of in the same spot? No sponsorships yet? Or looking for them?
We have a few supporters. We don't have any sponsors. We definitely like to find some. And really what we're looking to do is to find those collaborations where we can do events and bring more awareness to the charities.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys' time. It sounds like you have some great organizations, and I look forward to learning more about them. I'll do some research myself and see what we can do to push your records out there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the chat.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, guys. One of my favorite chats of our 10-day road trip was again with our friend Alex from Mutha Trucker News. Alex, as you know, is all over social media. As you know, he's a special guy to be around. We enjoy spending all of the time that we can with Alex. He's just got an energy about him and an honesty about him that rivals no one. So there was an extra special clip that came out of this discussion that I just love. It isn't part of this particular formal chat, and this isn't that formal of a chat, but we did cut the clip out of here. We will put a link to that clip in the comments if you haven't seen it already, and we do recommend that you check it out. It is worth a laugh.
What up, Internet? Robert Bain here, Strongest Man in Logistics. We are live from the Mid-America Truck Show, Louisville, Kentucky. Got my homies here, Alex Mai, Nate Johnson, and we are doing the thing here. Super fun. It's been, as you can tell on my forehead, a very sweaty couple days. A lot of steps in, connecting with people, connecting with drivers. It's a different show than we usually go to, but it's one of the more important ones you'll be a part of if you're in transportation or around trucking. So, fellas, what are your thoughts so far? Nate, it's been a while since you've been here. Alex, you're a staple here, a celebrity. I'm gonna say it.
Celebrity.
What are your thoughts so far, fellas?
I'll let you go first, Nate.
I'm going first. So I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. So I've been overwhelmed by a couple of shows this year, but this one's, I think, gonna take the cake because I've got nothing done that I wanted to do at all.
But yet you still feel productive somehow.
I've been productive, but I'm going to compare it to Manifest for a second. So I went to Manifest. I got most of the stuff done that I wanted to.
Yeah.
Here, I feel like I've just been drilling on myself for 2 days. I have not. I mean, I planned on going and seeing the whole show. I walked the whole show. We just got finished doing that. But basically, what was that? We just walked the whole show.
Yes.
I still haven't made it across to this booth to buy a truck.
We're talking, it's 11 feet from us.
It's across.
It's like 7
the
feet.
aisle. Yeah, and there's some really cool looking trucks there, and I want to go buy a couple. I haven't made it there. Why? Because it's constant people. It's people that we know, that we've known for a long time. It's some people that we don't know that just jump up and say, hey, how are you?
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. And you have a great conversation. So lots of bridging, lots of new great conversation. It's been amazing. So Alex, passing the baton to you.
Sir.
It is tiring.
That too. That too.
You know what it is? This is the Truckers Truck Show. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
A lot of the events that we go to sometimes, it's really polished. It's sometimes extremely professional. This is like the fun show. You come out here, there's concerts out here.
Yep.
You know, you go to every booth, people are giving you away stuff.
Yep.
And it's kind of almost like the vacation time for a owner operator or a truck driver. You know, so this is their Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been a lot of fun. Every time I come here, I always get a little nervous because I don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And it always blows me away. And so I'm always very humbled by it as well. And so it's great to see people and just see the 1% of America that moves 100% of it. Right. So it's very cool in that way.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to throw it out there too, Alex. So,
Yeah.
you know, on the humbling side, you just had a signing event.
Oh, yeah. I've never done one.
Autograph
done-
sesh. Autograph
Autograph sesh. And so you're like, nobody's going to show up for this thing, right? How long was the line?
Hey, I tell you what, I just do a lot of talking because it took us a good hour and such to get through to everybody, and so that just tells you one thing: I talk too much. But when anyone watches us, like the people that love your podcast show, people feel like they know you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
For sure.
when they feel like they know you, I want to be able to be that version, and there's no fake version, but that version that they see, because that's the one that they watch you every day. So I really hate when I do have to like use the restroom or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. But, and I give them 30 seconds of my time. I feel really bad about that. So I want to give them, because, hey, when I meet some people I really like and they're not that same person, I am so heartbroken.
Right.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say was that, you'll meet people that are, I don't say internet celebrities, but like folks you say they're very out there. They have a lot of content out there.
Yeah.
They consume the content. And it's not that people want to be a part of that. They just want to be a part of your ecosystem. Like, hey, I've met this person. They were cool. The last thing you want to have is that experience where I met this person and they are one thing on camera and they are absolutely something else off it. And I think that's one of the things that you definitely bring to the table. We've observed it secondhand, is that authenticity, and it bleeds everywhere. And I'll be honest, this is a population that can sniff that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
They'll know really fast.
Yeah.
And so real recognizes real. And it's been super cool to observe that. And again, humbling for Nate and I too, because nobody knows who we are here.
Right.
Hey, when you're hanging out with me,
I mean,
you're good.
when you hear your family, right?
Yeah.
No, it's been super fun. What are some of the takeaways you guys have so far? I mean, we're not by any means done with this, but we're here for 2 days. It's obviously we have our own, but like, what are some things that you're taking away, each of you, from this particular show?
Really, it's just sometimes you look at it and the industry seems small, but when you're here, it just seems like everybody's in trucking, right?
Yep.
And there's so many things that it takes to move this needle, and so it's cool. And honestly, I never see show trucks like this.
Right.
Every day when you're on the road, you might see some you think that look kind of nice.
Yeah.
But it's weird. You almost get like, I don't know what it is, but I see so many nice trucks that I don't even know what's nice anymore.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Oh, they're beautiful. There's so many of them here too, and there may not even be in the show truck side. They're just parked outside.
Oh, and they're beautiful.
Yeah,
and some of them are just lined up. The guys drove them here, and they're amazing. So I agree. And this industry is absolutely massive. No matter what you look at it, sometimes it feels really small, but like I always say, it is the largest or the smallest large industry there is. You just seem to know so many people, and you sit down and you talk to somebody, you start going back through their history, especially if they've been in the industry 20 years, and you're going to find a commonality with them. You're going to find somebody that there's 7 degrees or 6 degrees of separation. You're going to find.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Well, here it's definitely 7 degrees of Alex Mai.
I think it's like 2.
Fair.
You better stop.
It doesn't take long to figure out how they know Alex and how they've interacted with Alex. So, but yeah, no, it's been a humbling experience. Yesterday, wearing the Mutha Trucker shirts.
Yeah,
we got to find out what it's like to be part of the Mutha Trucker crew, and that was definitely a different thing. We certainly get some activity in the events that we go to. We call it gravity.
Yep.
And we felt the Mutha Trucker gravity here.
Yes.
Yeah, you're too kind.
That was very interesting. So
absolutely. I think my biggest takeaway is, one, wear comfortable shoes for these things.
Oh, yeah.
That's a major key. But then two, it's just it's my renewed excitement about the American driver. I mean, like you said, Alex, this is the trucker's truck show. And we sat and talked to a family basically at lunch.
Right.
And it's a one truck operation. They're based in between Nashville and Memphis. And it was just great to talk to the guy about his direct customer. He's been doing the same thing for 10 years. He runs loads all week long. He's home on the weekends. He talked about like he lives the trucker's dream, right?
Yeah.
But it was super cool to sit here and just have this conversation with a guy that more likely some people lumber that he's moved to somewhere either in my home or in my neighborhood, and that's sick for me to think about. And so again, I've always been passionate about that, and so that's probably my big takeaway is that once again everything that we do, I may not be driving a truck, but is focused on the American professional driver. So it's been super cool. To experience that. So
yeah, perfect.
No, I love it.
I love it. So
definitely. So when you guys go home, what's the follow up for this?
Figure out how we make this bigger, better, more powerful next year.
How do we get our booth in there?
Yeah. How do we? What's the play for GLCS?
Sure.
Next year? Or the Driving Forward podcast. I've been looking at that since I walked in the door. What do we do? How do we build the message? That's the way that I look at it. There's certainly something here for us beyond what we're doing this year. Further partnerships. I think we talked about the Voltron effect yesterday.
Yep.
Of all the people that we know and how they're separated in different areas, and can we bring everybody together? And if we start working on it sooner than later, can you get like this pod of 10 or 20 booths of all these people that we know?
I think we're dating ourselves with the Voltron reference. We want to go Power Rangers, a little more contemporary.
Voltron. Come on.
I'm down for Voltron. I'm cool with Voltron.
I smiled a little bit when you said Voltron. I was like, this guy gets it.
Yeah, I get it, man.
This guy gets it.
I'm down for Voltron. I'm saying, like, Power Rangers has a way better theme song.
I'm not a Power Ranger. I mean, come on, the rubber suits. I never got into it.
Dude, Jason David Frank, he's iconic.
R.I.P. baby.
Anyway. Coming home, biggest thing for this is going to be the follow up from everything, and then how can we further impact this population of individuals? Because again, we're probably not going to see a lot of independent owner operators as GLCS clients,
right?
But then what can we do to provide value for this whole population? Because again, you look at owner operators as a whole, it's a massive fleet, so to speak. So how do we help them and help them be more profitable, more efficient? Take more home to their families and have a better lifestyle. Also, while wearing awesome Big Rig tees.
Hey,
shameless plug, kids.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Alex, you got anything to say in wrapping this up?
I'll tell you what. Personally, very humbled by the friendship that we've had, and I appreciate you guys for that. No, you guys made this. You guys made me look bigger than I am. I've had so many friends come up to me and say, Alex, I remember the first time you went to Mid-America, and now you have bodyguards, friends, and you have a whole podcast set up. How did you do that? And I couldn't have done that without you guys, so I appreciate you guys for that.
No, the feeling's mutual. There's a lot of things that you've given back to us as well.
Absolutely.
So a lot of discussion. I enjoy our communication, our frequent communication. I appreciate that. I appreciate the space here that you've offered up for this. We're always open to reciprocate that, and you're a true friend. And I think I mentioned the other day, people that in the last 6 months, there's been a lot of people in my life that have popped up that can call me anytime, and I will answer that call. You need me somewhere, you call, I come.
Oh, man.
10 digits, baby. 10
digits.
That's it.
I love it.
I love it. So,
all right.
There it is.
So, with that being said, thanks for having us here. And how do you wrap up your?
I don't know. I just usually it just clips and blacks out and then goes to music.
Clips and blacks out.
I'll do mine. I intro us, right?
Yeah.
That's all I got for y'all.
Let's go. I love it. Appreciate
Final interview of this compilation is at TCA with Driver of the Year, Rosalinda Tejada. I was fortunate enough to meet most of the drivers of the year, but we were blessed to be able to sit down with Rosalinda for a while and hear her full story. I'll likely be writing about these amazing drivers over the next few weeks, but there's no doubt that Rosalinda is an amazing person representing women drivers throughout the industry. And I look forward to learning a lot more about Rosalinda over time. I'm sure we haven't heard the last of Rosalinda. With her story and the way she represented herself, I'm sure she has a lot more to tell. We are here at TCA 2024.
Day 2.
Day two. And we have an extra special guest. It is Rosalinda Tejada. And Rosalinda, you've just been honored. I shouldn't even say honored. We've been honored with your presence, but you recently won an award. Which award were you given?
Truck Driver of the Year.
Truck Driver of the Year.
And
So
this was from the TCA, correct?
This is from the TCA.
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
That's absolutely amazing. And so how many people get this award now?
So there's a total of 5 people that get rewarded, and you're nominated through your company. And it's just amazing. Let me just say, out of 32.5 million truck drivers with CDL, these people could also be nominated just as well.
Sure.
Right. Now, the session tomorrow night, are they gonna do what they typically do, which is put up your whole story on the screen?
Yes.
Now that I've met you ahead of time, this was one of the things I really wanted to do, because I get allergies, as he says, during that session when they put up everybody's story. Being a former driver, I've been in the industry 28 years. The stories that you guys have and that they put up there. So can you tell us a little bit about your story? You've been driving 25 years.
Yes.
So tell us how you got in the industry, where you come from, and just your passion for driving a little bit.
Right. Well, you better have your napkins ready, your tissue. You
No,
might get
boy, here we
teary-eyed.
go. That's why I have the jacket, so I can.
He goes before me.
Yeah, I do.
I have waterproof mascara on today.
I'm an emotional guy. A lot of feelings.
Well, how I actually got started truck driving was, long story short, I was coming out of a really bad relationship, domestic violence, and I was looking for an escape for myself to better myself. I didn't know my self-worth. And my uncle was a truck driver, and he was like, you know what? Why don't you get your CDL, be a truck driver? And I'm like, I don't think I could do that, because I was working in the office at that time for another company in citation and permits. And I'm like, I don't know if I really can do it, because I didn't know my strength. And I was just getting tired of the abuse, verbally, physically. I had the whole works. And sure enough, I went to CDL school. And first day I showed up on Monday. I look in the back of the room. Guess who was back there? The person I was trying to run away from.
Really?
Oh, wow.
He signed up to get his CDL.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to escape this.
Right.
So I went directly to the instructor and I said, hey, you know what? I'm joining this because of my situation. I told him. And he goes, sweetie, don't worry about it. Just do you, and we'll keep you guys separated. Once you get your license, he's going to go with another trainer. You're going to go with another trainer. You probably will never see him again. And I'm like, are you sure? I just felt so weak again. I'm like, I got my strength to go. And there he was. And he just kept telling me, when you're done, we're going to team drive. And I'm like, oh, man, how is this going to end? And, I went my 2 weeks of CDL school at that time. And sure enough, at that time, it was 8 weeks of over-the-road training. And I did not see him again. And then I'm like, wow, okay, this is happening. I can actually find myself and everything. So here I am enjoying the best life, being a truck driver, running into him at a truck stop.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, am I going to escape? This is big. This is the United States. How am I going to escape this guy?
Right.
And you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm driving a big rig now. I got strength. I found myself. And I just whacked past him like he was nothing. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do me. For once in my life, I got my strength. I'm going to do me. And it helped me a lot at that time because financially, I needed a place to live. Financially, I needed money to provide for myself. But also with that said, my brother was a gunshot victim. And my mother and I could not afford the bills. So me truck driving actually helped me pay those bills and help my mother out. I actually lived in my truck for 7 years straight.
Wow.
Saved up all my checks like a good little girl. I was able to buy my mom's house. Buy her house.
Yeah, we needed to get the tissues right. Good Lord.
Bring my brother home. To bring my brother home from the hospital. To care for him. So I did that and I stopped driving probably about 6 months, maybe 8 months. because now we needed someone to care for my brother who was on life support, feeding tube, catheter, everything.
Yeah.
So here I'm doing a crash course on how to care for my brother, and because there was no one there, and I'm like, okay, I got to do this. So here I am again, putting another hat and trying to be strong, to handle that. And then my other brother was able to get involved and help. And then financially, it makes me think how far I came from to where I'm at now in life.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, I actually did escape. I actually found my voice, found my strength. And I'm able to pass on that message on to other women or even men, because there's men that get abused and people think like, no, they don't. They do. They don't know their self-worth, or they don't have a voice, or they don't have someone to hold their hand to show them the ropes. And me, where I'm at now in life, much older, more mature, got my strength, got a voice.
Yeah.
I like to pass that baton on and show them the strength. You're capable of doing it. If I could do it, you could do it.
That's, I don't know how to respond. Like, that is
Yeah.
an incredible story.
Would mic drop if
Yeah.
they were not.
I'm just sitting here. I know we both have daughters, and I mean, I've got a granddaughter too, and I'm just thinking of the role models they need, people like you that, it's, I don't like to always say, oh, strong, independent women who don't need no man, but also like you need to have women that show that you are powerful, you have a voice, you are capable, and I'll call it trailblazer. Yes. You open the door, and not only doing that, but you're now, if I heard right, you're a trainer, so you're also holding the door open for others to come through.
Yes. You know what? I've trained, I don't know how many women, probably over 20 plus or something. I've lost count. And every woman that got in my truck, I'm not saying all of them had really bad situations, but majority of them, they didn't have that proper upbringing of someone showing them the way, or even talking to them, as a big sister or a mother. Hey, this is what you need to do. Yep. Let me help you. Let me guide you. And you know what? To this day, I'm friends with all of them. We have a big bond, awesome. Sisterhood.
Amazing.
They text me, they message me, they call me. They asked me to go to their children's birthday parties across the country. And I'm like, if I'm there, I'll go. If not, Amazon, it's on its way.
Yep.
That it's such an awesome message. And excuse me, Rosalinda, the way that you the next generation forward, and it's an avenue for women to come out of a unhealthy relationship into a career path that allows them to become so successful in a variety of different ways. I've heard that message over and over and over. We just came from MATS, and we're friends with another organization called She Trucking, and they push that message forward, and women in trucking as well, and a variety of other organizations. But this industry, when I entered the industry, there was about 5% women. And there's so much more now.
Yep.
And there's no reason that there can't be more women in transportation, more women drivers, more women in the office, more women everywhere.
In leadership, especially.
Absolutely. Well, we have the CEO JB Hunt right now, for example, but women behind the wheel. But what you're doing, I have the biggest heart for what you're doing, and mentoring drivers, mentoring women drivers, coaching them, being a driver trainer. I guess what the words I was trying to put together when I was stumbling there. Being a driver trainer, when they come and get behind the wheel with you, you are not only training them to be a driver, but you're training them in life in a lot of ways too. You're behind the wheel with them for, I don't know what Knight's policy is.
We have different programs for them. We do have the Top Gun program, which I totally love, the Top Gun, where they learn in a simulator for a while and stuff, and then they still go out with the trainer. If not, they could go ahead and just go straight out with the trainer for 4 weeks. So 2 weeks if you're in Top Gun, you go with the trainer for 2 weeks, 4 weeks if you don't go with the Top Gun program.
So you spend a couple of weeks with someone, and in many cases, these might be younger people or people that are switching careers, and there's an inflection point in their life that is a big deal to them, and some of them may be coming, like you said, out of unstable relationships or unstable
life situations.
Yeah, and so you've been through that, and it sounds like a couple of times, and you can provide them with insight and mentorship, and that's just amazing that you can impact someone's life that way. And I think in my life, I look back at I'm always trying to provide to everyone, right? I look at how can we be impactful to people, and so just kudos to you for that. I love your story.
Thank you.
So.
And you know what? I just think that me learning as I grow, and that's why I'm like, you know what? Somebody might have been in my situation and didn't know the resources, and that's why I like to do what I do now. And even though at my age, I feel like I'm going to retire every day, but I don't. It's just that I don't think my work is done yet. My work is not done yet.
I love that.
And beautiful. I just want to keep on passing it. And I'm privileged because of my truck as well.
Yeah.
I have a custom wrap truck.
Oh,
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us
Yes.
about that a little bit?
So I do drive for night transportation. My truck is the first fleet of hero truck, meaning that my company donates 3 cents to the cause every mile that I drive to Children's Miracle Network pet therapy program. So not only do I go to special events, show my truck, the kids could go in there, jump in there, check it all out, hands-on truck. I even talk to their mothers, single moms, and I'm able to preach to them still, being positive. And they're amazed because there are a lot of them like, oh my gosh, you got 2 beds in there. And the kids are like, 2 beds. Me and my brother could sleep on there. My mom could drive.
I mean, in theory, yes, you could do that.
Yes, they can. They can. They definitely can, and they're just overwhelmed about it. And that right there, just like, And then seeing the children when I go to the events, because after this event, I fly back Wednesday back to Phoenix. Then I'm going to Utah to get my load. Then I'm heading to Orlando, Florida. And I say this is when I know I made it big. I know I got Truck Driver of the Year, but I'm delivering to Disney World.
Awesome.
That's when you know you've made it.
Ooh, that's way cool.
You're delivering the greens.
After this, you're actually going to Disney World.
Going to Disney World for the Children's Miracle Network 41st anniversary.
That's so
I'm delivering their supplies, sound equipment, or whatever it might be.
That's so cool.
So
that's fun.
To me, I'm like, oh, that's so cool going to Disney World.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won being a truck driver.
I'm still like, I don't know. It's so for real. It's like, I just think that I was doing my part as a human, my part as a woman, my part as a truck driver, my part as a team member for my company. I think I'm just doing my part. I'm glad that I could be a communication link as a driver to others. Even if people don't come to my company, at least there's a resource for them. And my greatest thing, I think, of all of this is when I get a call from one of the group homes, because I go to women's shelters. I take my truck out there and I go and give them my speech and help them, whatever, even if they don't want to be a truck driver.
Right.
Even if they just need to hear their story, I'm there for them.
They need to know someone made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I glad to get that call. And they tell me, hey, Rosa. And I'm like, yeah. Do you remember me? I'm like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Who are you? Well, you came out to the shelter probably a couple months ago. And I actually got my CD out. I'm doing it. And I'm like, I still get chills.
Yeah, that's.
And they're like, I'm doing it. And I go, well, what company you're going to go with? And they go, I haven't decided. Can you help me? And, they don't have to go with my company.
Yeah.
There's so many great companies out there.
Right.
And I go, well, let me know anything I can help you with. And that's the great prize right there. That to me is my greatest prize.
Great.
That's awesome. But, well, first off, thanks for joining us, Rosalinda. I mean, very last or spontaneous. Where can people find you on social media or anything like that? Or
yes, I am on TikTok.
Oh, here we go.
Trucking with Rosalinda.
Okay.
And I'm also on Facebook under my name, Rosalinda Tejada.
Okay. Awesome. And then obviously we'll see you on the road. We look for the wrap truck.
Yep, wrap truck, and it says the Fleet of Miracles on it. P2324.
Awesome.
Handles Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
So first off, thank you for joining us, but most importantly, thank you for what you do. You're wearing a bright yellow shirt, which I love, but you're a shining light in this industry. Thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks for watching this compilation. If you made it this far through every interview that we conducted, I very much appreciated it. Every one of these people that we talked to has an amazing story. All of them are industry advocates in their own way. All of them are just amazing people altogether. Please make sure that you follow GLCS on LinkedIn, You'll get updates on the Driving Forward podcast. You'll get a variety of updates throughout all of the events that we attend throughout the year. We provide a lot of content when we go to these events. In addition to that, you'll get updates and whatnot in regards to GLCS in general. But largely, we do put forward quite a bit of industry content, typically in relation to technology. But in general, at events, we cover kind of all topics. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to reach out at any time. You can reach us at drivingforward@glcs.net. And coming up, we are at a variety of different events. We have ATA mid-year management session. That's coming up soon here in a couple of weeks. I think a few of us will be there. Then following that, the ATA Accounting and Finance Council in Cleveland. I'll be actually speaking at that. We'll have a few people at Freight Waves, and I think we're walking Home Delivery World. So following that, there's more locations. So if you're going to be at any one of these events, please, and you want to get together, please feel free to reach out to us. Once again, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn or driving forward at glcs.net. We're very responsive to those particular channels. So with that, I think we'll wrap this up. I appreciate everybody tuning in to this episode of Driving Forward. Next week, sorry, not wrapping it up yet. Next week, we will resume the regularly intended programming. So we're back to office technology, front office technology. Assuming that we have nobody getting caught in strange flights, nobody sick, and everybody's back healthy. I guess that's one of the things when you have a company-wide podcast and certain people scheduled that you do get. I knew this would happen at some point. I just wasn't guessing it would happen this week. So regardless, next week we'll be back on it. Front office technology oriented towards non-asset companies. And last episode, or a couple episodes ago, when we did the asset-based technology, we got some feedback asking us why we're not naming the technologies associated with the subject matter we're talking about. So we're going to start doing that. If we do it, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to work for your company. Everybody has their own set of requirements, and we can't name every solution. So we're going to name some examples. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will work necessarily for your organization, but it's an example solution that potentially could work for that type of subject matter. So with that all being said, we appreciate you tuning in today, and I hope you tune in next week for our episode on front office technology. So stay curious, stay informed, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time, drive forward with purpose and innovation. Thanks for watching.